So Allah over here, He says, اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن. Stay away from lots and lots of thought. Okay? This is quite important over here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, اجتنبوا. Alright? اجتنبوا means staying away. But the word اجتنبوا is unique in that it comes from the word janib, which means the side of something. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if thoughts are in one direction, you go on the other direction. If thoughts are on one side of something, you go on the other side of something. If evil seems to be over here in terms of thought, in terms of you thinking something evil of your brother, then you go on the other direction altogether. So literally, you part ways with this thought, right? But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن. Part your ways from lots and lots of thought. But we know that many a times we're told to think, we're told to have thoughts, and we know that al-dhann, which is basically an ability to perceive something, is something that is praiseworthy in Islam. And we know that the ability to perceive something is how we understand the Quran and the Sunnah and so on and so forth. Right? So why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us to stay away from these thoughts? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you to take a back step, and then when you see this thought, before you walk right into the thought, before you start thinking that way, before you start, basically translating everything around you based on that thought, take a back step, take a moment away from it, look at it carefully, observe it, understand it, and then if it's good, you go with it. And if it's not, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ بَعْضَ الظَّنِّ إِثْمٍ. Indeed, a portion of that thought that you were staying away from is going to be sin. So you take a back step, you move away, you part your ways, then you observe it from a distance so that you can objectively look at something, and then after you're done objectively looking at that something, then you are able to make a decision. This information that I've heard or thought about of someone else, I saw someone at the mall, and the example that we gave of the brother and sister at the mall, well, they could have been doing a lot of things that were even halal. I don't have to think the haram way necessarily, right? So you parted ways with what you could have perceived subjectively, and now you're able to think of something objectively. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to do in order for you to decipher good thoughts from evil thoughts. Allah says, a portion of those thoughts will always be evil. إِنَّ بَعْضَ الظَّنِّ إِثْمٍ. A portion of those thoughts will always be evil. And evil can be said in many different ways. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses the word ithm over here. Ithm comes from the word wathama. Wathama means to break something or cut something off, right? So the reason why these evil thoughts are ithm is because they cut things off. Meaning what? If you're an employee and your employer is always having evil thoughts about you stealing, and your employer is always having evil thoughts about you not doing your job right, so he comes and starts, for example, spying on the individual. He comes and starts implementing things to try to make sure that that perceived idea is not actually occurring. The theft that he thought of is not actually happening, right? Numbers may not be adding up in the finances, so the employer starts to have evil thoughts about his employee, right? All of these things, right, as they're happening. Or for example, when people have evil thoughts about masjid boards, right? You look at a masjid that is doing things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're paying their bills, right? A masjid has bills in terms of electricity. A masjid has bills in terms of parking. A masjid has bills to take care of in terms of hydro, in terms of air conditioning, a lot of different things, heating if they have to have that, right? A masjid has bills in terms of insurance. A masjid has bills in terms of lots maintenance, carpet cleaning, roof, just maintenance in general, fixing roofs, lighting, a lot of different things, right? People, sometimes they look at just the money that's going into the masjid and the fundraisers, and they're like, this masjid is corrupt. We gave them $150,000 last Ramadan, and they haven't done anything with it. Well, who's paying the bills? Who's paying the rent? Who's paying the installments if they're still purchasing their center? They have to use some money for that, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you have evil thoughts and you live by them, then this will be ithm, this will be destructive. It will destroy your job, When you're having evil thoughts with your employer, it'll destroy your company. If the employer is having evil thoughts with all of his employees, it'll destroy your center. If you have evil thoughts with the entire community, it will destroy your center, and you won't be able to live and take benefit from the center if you are having evil thoughts, and constantly so with the people that are taking care of the center. Inna ba'da dhanni ithm. A portion of that thought is ithm. It cuts things off. It shatters things. It destroys things.